Hello and welcome to the 1000 Voices Project. I'm Kim Ross, I'm a psychologist, and the Centre for School Anxiety is driving this 1000 Voices. It starts from the premise that school system is stressful. That is not necessarily a bad thing. A bit of stress is good. We need it, we push against it, we work around it, we figure it out. It helps us grow and develop. What isn't so helpful is when there's lots and lots and lots of stresses, which we're kind of just ignoring because that's normal and we should just be able to suck it up, roll with the punches, keep going, get over it. And they build up and up and up and become a level of distress and overwhelm. And that leads into things like shame, loneliness, disconnect, school refusal, with 20 to 50% of our kids experiencing school refusal. School can't, to some extent. That's a lot of children being impacted. It also leads to things like teacher burnout, parental burnout, defensiveness amongst professionals. Operating in this way without an acknowledgement, a voicing of stresses, is not ideal. So that's why I want to hear your voice. So here are a few examples of the different types of school stress that can be experienced. And they're things, you'll see they're things that you might do every day going to school. They can be one-off events. There might be things like, getting out of bed, catching the bus, which might seem simple to someone, but for someone else, that's a real obstacle to them getting to school and arriving at school refreshed and ready for the day. It might be a social stress, like my friend going to be there? What happens if they're not there? Who's going to talk to me? Are they going to pick on me? Where do I go? What do I do? For teachers, that can be getting out of bed, and it can be changing curriculum, changing principles, being sick, needing to do marking, needing to balance the needs of some children with the whole classroom. For parents, that can be interpreting reports, working out the best way to communicate with their teacher and advocate for their child. It can be attending school commitments, particularly if there's a lot of them, in one day or stacked around holidays when they're balancing work and getting to school. It might be navigating school, gossip that happens, car park gossip. For professionals, that can be frustration about communication and finding that balance between making suggestions that are useful and not stepping across professional boundaries. And we have this culture of defensiveness rather than advocacy and collaboration. How does it work? How does this project work? That's why you're here, to find out about it. So this is my invitation to you to share your story about a stress. It can be a little one. Remember, they add up. It can be a big one. There is no right or wrong with this. But here are a couple of examples of a shared story, which the first one happens to be mine. And you'll see I've written it, I am a student. I was, but I'm writing as I am. Okay? So this is a story of me waiting to be picked in the good old days where picking was totally part of a popularity contest, but I admit I wasn't that great at sport either. But you really felt if you weren't picked, no one liked you, you were the loser, if you were left till last. And you see it on games now. I mean, they do it on Survivor, they do it on other games and on TV shows, but they're adults, and they're picking as part of a game of a process. When you're a primary school student and you're at a new school, or you've been bullied and you're not in an environment that you have any say over, you haven't chosen to be part of the game, standing there hoping you weren't going to be chosen last, oh, that feeling is there. It's just below the surface. It never totally fades away. Here's another example from a parent. And in this one, they discussed the stress that was involved when they made a decision based on what a school was like, which I know many parents do. And then there was a change, leadership change. Therefore, a cultural change came in, which filters down and has an immediate impact. Teachers started to leave, and the parent was going through a concern about whether this decision was right. And you never know. Going to school is such a long process. You kind of get to the end and think, I wonder if this whole sliding doors moment, and this is a stress, and maybe you haven't heard this in this type of voice before. When you tell your story, you can use as many words as you like, from whatever perspective you like. On the form, you get to choose a perspective. And I do believe if you have more than one story from more than one perspective, you can go back in and complete another form. And this is why it doesn't matter whether it was 40 years ago. Strong thoughts, images, and feelings carry present power. They're there below the surface. They're a part of you. You carry them with you. So now it's your turn. A few things to know before you complete the form is that when you do this, when you gift me and others your story, I have control over where that's shared. It could be in written format, it could be in a book, it could be in an email, it could be, on a poster outside, on a sticky note. I don't know yet, but what I can say is they will be anonymous, highly confidential. You don't have to give out your name, your gender, your age, your email. I do ask for your state because the education system, is a state-based system. And if you're filling this in and you're not in Australia, just please write down your country. Choose what you share. I'm sure you've got more than one stress story from your experiences with school. Only share what you are comfortable with, bearing in mind it could end up anywhere, but it won't identify you. And if you find this whole topic's traumatic or thinking about this causes you distress, please share this with your counsellor, your mental health professional, your GP, and perhaps not in this forum. If it's something that's going to cause you too much distress when you see it again, comes out in public, think very carefully about sharing it. If I don't have your name or your email, I do not have a means of following up with you. This is not therapy. Journaling about stuff that's caused you distress is a very good therapeutic practice, but you do that under the banner of a mental health professional, and that's not me. Even though I'm a mental health professional, I am not your therapist. How do you do it? Well, here's a link to the form. If the link doesn't work, or if you would like to email me first or have further questions, my email address is there. Just cut and paste it. It's also on the Positive Young Minds website. If you would like to leave it in a voice, you can certainly do that. You can call me. We can organise a time to chat. There are different ways. I'm very much open to however you would like to share your story. You may like to write a poem, and that's perfectly, that would be wonderful. No? However you would like to share it. You might have a drawing or a picture. I'm more than happy for you to, I'm pleased for you to send me that as an image. Thank you for reading and taking the time to tell your story, to add your voice. Share this opportunity with others, and let's gather as many of those voices as we can. As I said before, I think at the start, so I'm Kim Ross. I'm a psychologist, and the Centre for School Anxiety is something that I believe in, and this is the vision that I'm leaving you with. So as part of creating this culture of acceptance and normalization and understanding, I believe the 1,000 voices opens those doors, opens the ears, and opens the hearts. Until next time, bye.